So in terms of the strategies of the investors and VCs, it's really about doing more smaller investments.
People are able to make things that grow really, really fast, get to revenue really fast.
Throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. You throw enough up there, something's going to stick. So you have lots of these little angel-backed companies that get started, and a few of them actually get meaningful traction.
This is our Entrepreneurs Forum. It starts our school year, and it's a chance for all the students from across campus to come and learn about the investment climate for their startups.
And we have a great panel tonight. We've got Greg Gretsch from Sigma West, Howard Hartenbaum, who's a partner in August Capital, Gary Tan, who's a partner at Y Combinator.
This is for the Leicester Center of Entrepreneurship, and we're just talking about trends, current trends in the venture market and the investing market and startups, that sort of thing.
Starting a company and being an entrepreneur sounds like a wonderful thing to do, but it's not something that's been taught in school so much, and that's something that's up and coming now in the business schools. And this is one more opportunity for the students to meet an investor, to hear what an investor sounds like, and have a chance to ask questions, so when they decide they want to raise money later, they're not so afraid.
You know, the other guys on the panel, they're really kind of like the legends of the venture biz. And so, funny story, I think I've pitched all three of the other ones.
So I think the biggest trend is the emergence of a large number of angel groups, seed funds, and incubators that are putting smaller amounts of money than traditionally venture capital put into companies. They're able to invest less because over the last decade, companies have become much more capital efficient.
So in terms of the strategies of the investors and VCs, it's really about doing more smaller investments.
People are able to make things that grow really, really fast, get to revenue really fast, and grow double-digit percentage month on month, which is astonishing. It used to take $5 million, $10 million, and now it takes, $100,000 or less.
The big demarcation point in Silicon Valley of the last 15 years is probably the bubble and the crashing of the bubble in 99, 2000. By 2005, we'd come out of the worst of that, and we were definitely sort of back in the uptick on new startup activity happening, although there was still, I think, a little bit of hesitance around investors and a lot of startups. The crop of companies started in the 2004, 2005, 2006 time period. A lot of those companies are coming to maturity now and are generating some very nice exits. But that was definitely a sort of a growth time in the valley, if you will, or an expansion time in the startup ecosystem.
More early stage angel investors who have made money in startup companies or Facebooks or Googles, and they want to get involved with young companies, so there's just a huge increase in early stage seed investing.
Well, the hardest part, I think, for founders is, when they do something, it's the first time, a lot of them, it's the first time they've ever done it. And so there are 10,000 paper cuts, 10,000 little traps that cause startups to fail. And without a network of people behind you, it's really hard to avoid those 10,000 things.
The top funds that are still continuing to raise a lot more money and continually doing a fair amount of deals, but the large number of venture funds that you had at the time of the first bubble in 2000 has certainly shrunk.
Well, the nice thing about having thousands and thousands of companies to choose from is, it's like throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. You throw enough up there, something's going to stick. So you have lots of these little angel-backed companies that get started, and a few of them actually get meaningful traction, and those are the ones that venture dollars rush into. So it can't be bad having lots of innovation happening. A lot of those companies will fail, but that's part of the process in the valley.
All investors care about three things: the team, the idea, and traction. And so if you can nail all three, That's the ideal thing.
Well, everything comes in cycles, and right now things are pretty good in the venture market. There is a fair amount of money that's being invested. It's less expensive to start companies. So we're seeing a lot of interesting stuff that's starting, and I think it's going to continue for a while until we have another down cycle.
So the event's fantastic. I really haven't had much input on venture capital before, on angel investors. So this is really just kind of a primer course. I think going forward it's something I'm going to pursue. So I really needed to participate to hear from people that have been in the field for years and years about, what kind of companies do you look for? How do successful companies grow? What do unsuccessful companies do? So I'm happy to be here.
But events like this really make it real and exciting and accessible to people who aren't from here. Like a lot of people who come to the business school at Haas aren't necessarily from the Bay Area and who want to learn a lot about entrepreneurship. And so it's events like this that make it possible for them.
Until I really came out here, it's hard to sort of comprehend because it's everyone's on top of technology and top of the new apps and new things that are developing.
So our goal is to bring the community together and have people meet each other as well. Startups are always in teams, and Berkeley has a business school, and we have science, we have technology, we have arts, we have letters, we have students from all over the world as well, and we want them to mix and connect over really inspiring startup ideas.
No fear. You have to just jump in and do it, and you have to believe. I think find a mentor and somebody who opinion and experience you trust, and go for it.
Astonishing few founders who go out and set out for it end up making it, but when they do, it's life-changing. It changes society, it changes the economy, makes thousands of jobs, and so that's why we do it.
Some do stick, and although a lot fail, and you have to realize even on the successful ones, you go through periods where you think it's going to fail. If you have something you believe in and you're passionate about, give it a shot and don't give up.
I think the reality in investing and starting companies is that often particularly investors are very precedence driven. They look at a company and they say, oh, you're from Luxembourg. Nobody has ever succeeded in Luxembourg before. And then there was Skype, which was a huge success. And now every company wants to start in Luxembourg that's based in Europe. And so I would say if you have something that you want to do, while it's easier to do it in an area where there's a lot of precedence, like a Silicon Valley or in New York City or now in Luxembourg if you're in Europe, if you can't go to a new market, that shouldn't dissuade you, because if you prove it and you do a great job, then you have set the precedence for the future.